James! What are you doing here? Last time I saw you, you were at Goldenrod. What are you doing in Paldea?
I fucking hate it here. That's what I'm doing.
What do you mean? This region's great. What's so wrong with it?
Why do I hate Paldea?
Nothing below the belt or above the knee.
Paldea is one of the worst generations of Pokemon I have ever played. Sword and Shield are so much better. Now you might be thinking, Sean, my parental figure's a robot, and I think that's kind of classy. I think you're fucking wrong. Yes, Scarlet and Violet have the death of a parental figure. I am such a fan of that. But what they don't have is the bomb-ass vibes. A gym battle in Scarlet and Violet is like a sad boner. The gym battles in Sword and Shield is whipping it out, and it's up to say hello. In Sword and Shield, the music, when you're fighting Marnie in the giant arena and everyone's singing, I like predestined battle arenas. What does that mean? I don't like when I throw a Pokeball and it just comes out. Is that weird? Yes. I want when you battle someone, the black screen comes up and you go Youngster Joey wants to fucking murder you. Terratypes? Don't even get me started on Terratypes. They are so lame. If I have to put a hat on a Togepi so he's a poison type, I am going to lose my mind. It's so boring. I would rather have a Krogunk speedball on my nuts with Poison Jab than have to deal with the fucking extra rock Geodude. Dexit or this goddamn tree one more time. I'm going to actually strangle you. This is not hyperbole. It is a threat. This is a genuine threat. I am threatening you. This is a threat. Pikachu?
Pikachu? What do you got there? What? That statistic says that only like 2% of you are subscribed. Pikachu, get the fuck away from me, and you watching, subscribe.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Gen 1 or Done. I'm PokeFreak Kyle, and you might have seen on the news lately, Pokemon are getting a whole lot more round nowadays. Now, a lot of people are saying this might not be an issue. I remember back in the day when you could just like walk up to a Jinx and just like poke it. It was rigid. We don't even need to talk about how Jinx looks, but that's a whole other conversation. But you could walk up to a Jinx. It was rigid. It was square. It was powerful. It was a powerful stance.
3D Pokemon just makes sense. There is so much opportunity in a 3D world with 3D environments. Before you say anything, here's my defense. I'm right, you're wrong. Now, am I saying black and white is ugly and should have been in 3D? Fuck no! Look at this beautiful world! I'm on a bridge! Whoa! That's another bridge a different bridge, but it's going up! I'm back on the other bridge! There's a lot of bridges in this game. And in saying this, am I saying Pokemon is using the amazing technology of 3D worlds in the proper way? Fuck no! Oh my god! Half of them are so ugly, and the other half run like shit. But here's the thing.
I know this is a dirty word in the Nintendo world. You ever hear of fan games?
Whoa! A wonderful world made by Pokegami Concept, watercolor, and magic everywhere! Guys, we're in a post-Puss in Boots world. That movie made like a $1 million. We don't have to count every hair on Alvin and the Chipmunk's head. We can have fun with it now. I think the creativity with 3D models can allow for much more unique and special games. Now, do I want like side games that are pixelated? Ooh, maybe if they made like, ooh, we remade Kalos, but in the black and white style. I would literally cream my capris for that. But we're not getting that. We have to deal with what we got. And I think what we have is worse, but the potential is more. And you know, for that reason, I'll take your offer, $50 million for 5% of the equity of the company. For that, I'm in.
Look at that! Look at that! It's shiny! That's insane! I've never seen one before. No way, dude. What are the chances of this? There's a second one? There's a second one right... A third? Look, there's a third one. Wow. Did I just forget what this Pokemon looked like? Is this like actually the original? Is this what it? Huh? Wait, gosh. Why there's so many shiny Pokemon? So despite Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red being the first games that I think I have ever played in my life, I've never actually encountered a legitimate shiny Pokemon, which I think is an important preface when I say there are way too many shiny Pokemon. There's way too many shiny Pokemon. You know, it shouldn't even be possible to shiny hunt. That's what I'm saying. You know, back in the first gen, you know, there weren't any shiny Pokemon. But in the second generation, it was simple. 1 in 8,192. That was the only way to find one. You know, it was an event if you found one. It was a story. It was special, you know. They're really hard to find. Then generations 4 and 5 roll around. Probabilities start to increase a little bit. You know, that's fine. All right, it's like there really isn't anything over 1 in 1,000 yet. The only one that's like remotely over 1 in 1,000 is the Poker Radar, which is hard to get. It's still only 1 in 200, and like it would take me 10 minutes of looking up YouTube videos and reading guides to find out how to do it, and you know, that's intimidating. And then Generation 6 rolls around. What is this? What have they done? I don't even know what that means. The odds to find a shiny Pokemon got halved across the board. And you know what? Whatever, right? You know, it doesn't matter. But this is also the generation where they just kind of started adding stuff. In the Friend Safari, sure. Consecutive fishing, I guess. SOS battles, whatever. The freaking Gen 7 wormhole portals! Dynamax Adventures, the Grand Underground, mass outbreaks, massive mass outbreaks, the Shiny Bar Mitzvah. Oh, would you look at that? The Poké Radar's back. Now with ×2 odds. We'll just take a shiny Charm and slap that on top of everything else. And oh my gosh, would you look at that? It's the first non-shiny Pokemon I've seen in years. What the? I'm shiny now!
Don't even get me started about the sandwiches.
Shiny Pokemon just aren't exciting anymore. Like, they're everywhere. They've lost the stories behind them. They're basically a commodity at this point. I remember the very first shiny Pokemon I ever saw. My sister's green Zubat. I was 7. I remember that clear as day. I have a ton of shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. I couldn't tell you a single one of them. And no matter what happens now, the damage is already done. Shiny Pokemon have flooded the market. Shuckle Street is in shambles.
Hey, there's a Stantler over there. I kind of heard he's just straight up garbage.
Yeah, I used a Stantler in my time at Ouray. He was pretty good.
The hell is Ouray?
Now I love me some heavy restrictions on available Pokemon, especially when those restrictions are during the main story. Pokemon Black and White restricting players to only the new Pokemon of the generation? Sublime. Pokemon XD and Coliseum restricting the players to only having a very small pool of Shadow Pokemon? Awe-inspiring. And this is because these restrictions force engagements that most trainers, you know, they wouldn't even bother to have. So here's a hypothetical. You're walking down a route. There are 2 available encounters on it. The first one is Gibble, a puntable football of a Pokemon that everyone knows will be the one doing the punting when it evolves. The other's a bag of trash. Now, 9 times out of 10, people are gonna pick the eventual god-slaying deity known as Gibble. It's familiar, intimate even, but most importantly, it's safe. And you know what? That's pretty sad, because in picking the Gibble, you're missing out on a pretty solid, if albeit a little weird, tank. This thought process especially applies to when it comes to a new region, because you know, when I play in a new region, I don't want to use these old fogies, you know? I want to use the new guys. So, you know, when Game Freak just decides to keep putting Pikachu in the tall grass. What do you want me to do with this? I've seen this guy before. I know what he does. I want something new. I want something fresh. Give me those new guys. Give me the weird guys. I don't even want to know if the dead rat I caught on the side of the road evolves. Like, I don't want to know. I want to find out for myself. And also, all these restrictions and things like that. You know, they allow different Pokemon different times to shine. You know, Stantler. This guy's kind of garbage. But in Pokemon Coliseum, where like everything's a double battle and he's one of the only ones to learn Intimidate, which ends up hitting both of the opposing Pokemon, he's a pretty viable option. The 3 Stantler fans out there are raising their fists. And that's just the thing. One of Pokemon's core themes is that, you know, it's not a Pokemon's power that determines whether you should use it, but it's the bond of your friendship. So it's kind of a really big shame that, you know, some Pokemon are just kind of straight up way better than others. Because, I mean, like, no one's gonna pick a red booger over a dragon. So that's why you gotta force it. Force the people to take risks. Force the people to find new favorites. Force people to use the keychain. Game freedom be danged.